Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this dress, and most importantly tips on using a stretch fabric. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about how to take on your zipper board and also how to deal with your stretch fabrics. So stay tuned. If you have problem with your stretch or making stretch dresses, I'm going to be giving you some few tips on how to make straight dresses. So I'm just starting with my start line. I am marking it like so because I started with my half length. Okay, so I folded my fabric into four. Okay, so two and then two. Okay, so this is my center line right here, and I'm going to be marking all my measurements for my center line. So first of all, I'm marking my zip allowance, which is 1 inch. So after that I'll just go ahead and connect this together. Next I am going to start with my half length. Okay, so I'm putting my half length on that line and I'm going to start marking from there. So I'm marking my hip line and then also the length of my skirt, okay, plus my sewing allowance. I'm just transferring the same measurement to the other side. All right, so one thing I want you to guys to know is normally when I'm drafting a dress, okay, we have different type of body shapes. Okay, so I am going to be adding my low waist measurements here as well. So I'm adding my low waist vertical measurement as well. So this is my low waist measurement. I am going to go ahead and then connect this together. It helps me shape the dress really well to get the exact shape of my client. Okay, so normally I add my low waist to that. So I'm going to take in half inch for my zipper bulge, and then after marking the waist and everything, I add my half inch back to my back side. Okay, so I've taken in half inch for my waist, and I am now marking my circumference. So I'm marking just a quarter, and then I'm going to shape this as I mark. So I'm going to come down from my hip by 2 inches. Normally I do this. If you follow me on like my tutorials, I do this often just to prevent my hip be looking like something like V. Yeah, so I connect the same hip measurement to that 2 inches point, and whatever I have on my hips I reduce by 2 inches and I mark that on my knee measurement. Okay, so I mark that and now I'm going to connect these points together. Okay, next guys is to reduce your waist by half an inch or 3/4 depending on the measurement or the person you are making this for. So next I'm going to add my zip allowance that I took out. I'm going to add it back to my measurement, but that will only apply to my back. Okay, so once I'm done cutting the back, I'm going to trim it out from the front. So adding my allowances, I'm just going to connect this back. I'm going to connect all my allowances, okay, to take the shape of my original skirt. So once that is done and I'm done trimming out the back panel, I'm going to take this half inches away from the front. So let's just go ahead and then so taking out the half inches around the waist side, okay, helps with the zipper bulge from the back and the front as well. Okay, so the front doesn't have a zipper bulge, but you know the front has a folding that normally is really uncomfortable. So once that is done, I'm just trimming my front out. Okay, my half inches for the front out, like you're seeing. Okay, so now it only applies to the back. So next is to use this to cut my front out. I want to show you something a little about too. So what the paddle stretches should, okay, so be across your body. Okay, so just like that, and the part that has less stretch should be vertical on your body. Yes, so I have my patterns folded into two and into two again, so I'm cutting four for each piece, for the lining and also for the main fabric. I'm cutting four of this. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add all my allowances to this and then cut it out. I also do the same thing for my tool. I'm going to add allowances to my yoke, and I'm going to cut that out as well. So we have all our pieces here. Check in the link in the description box for a tutorial on this. Okay, so I'm going to take off my allowance at the back. Okay, I'm just shaping it into the sides like so, because normally if you don't take it out, it becomes like loose at the back and you don't want that. So take it out. Okay, take it out, it helps a lot. So now I'm back to the back. After joining my back, okay, I'm going to trim off. You see how this bulges out? That is going to create zip bulge, so you take that out as well. So these are some of the tips you need to know when you're handling any fabric, and I'm going to give you an extra tip when I'm doing the back zip. Okay, so I'm going to join all of these my panels together with this fringe here. This is what I'm going to be using for the design on the neck area. Okay, so I'm just taking care of my tool. Okay, and I'm trimming, and after trimming I'm joining my shoulders together. So if you really want a detailed tutorial on the tool, please let me know. So I'm joining all my pieces together and I am done with that. Okay, these are the back panels. Okay, each with lining. Okay, so I've also done the same thing to my front, also with the lining. So I just need to determine which part I just want to use for my lining. My tool is also ready, as you can see, neatly trimmed, and now I need to just go ahead and iron this out. Okay, so after everything, guys, I just sandwich the shoulder in one of the panels, and then I sew this together. Okay, so the shoulder is sandwiched into the other. Okay, so I'm done with the tool. I just held my edges with top stitching so that it could stay nice and flat. Okay, so next thing is to just take care of my zipper bulge at the back, like I told you. Just trim that out, and then now I'm going to be adding my tool to my dress. Okay, so after that, make sure you make a top stitch. I'm doing the same thing for the back as well. Now to the important part of this. Okay, so zipper bulges are always a problem when it comes to stretch. Okay, so I have a really good tip for you when it comes to zipper bulge. Okay, when handling a stretch fabric here, so I'm just going to align my back together like that, as you can see, and I'm going to be trimming off some excess from the back because it is a stretch fabric. You don't need to do this when you are doing or when you are handling a non-stretch fabric, but this is a stretch fabric, so I'm trimming off excess, especially under the bust area. Okay, so you can see the shape that is taking. I'm trimming about 3/4 inches on both sides, especially around the lower back, that is the under bust area. Okay, into the bust like that. Okay, so from the waist, just keep trimming a little bit more. Okay, so once this is done, after fixing your zip, you don't have any zipper bulge, but it doesn't like stay there. Okay, that like it has a little more to it. Okay, so stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to fix your zip. So I'm just adding my lining, I'm just cutting out my lining for my skirt as well, and I am going to go ahead and join this together. So I've finished with my skirt. I've already hemmed the bottom of my lining, so I'm just using uh, uh hemming gum, okay, or hemming stiff to hold my two skirts, like the lining and the main fabric, in place. Okay, how does this help? it stops the fabric from stretching. Okay, so once it doesn't stretch, you don't have any problem fixing your zip, because once the fabric stretches, zip becomes bulky at the back and you don't want that. Okay, so this is also another tip helping you when you are like making your stretch fabric. So I am doing the same thing for my top as well. I am holding the two like fabrics in in place, okay, so that when I'm attaching my zip it doesn't stretch. But this is just I think the third process I have given you right now. There is another process to stop my zipper bulge or stretch from creating that kind of bulkiness at the back. Okay, so keep staying tuned. Okay, to learn that tip. Okay, because I have a lot of questions on this from my subscribers, so I thought it wise to address this issue as soon as I can. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing for the other side. So after this, just pin both back panels, taking down your zip allowance, iron down to get your crease line. Okay, because we are going to be using this crease line. Okay, for our next step concerning the zipper bulge issue. Okay, so after you have your crease line, just remove your pins as I am doing. Okay, so once this is done, I'm going to grab my violin. Okay, people call it stave interface. Okay, so violin, I'm going to grab a violin that is a stave, a different type of like interface. Okay, this is a paper stave, so I'm going to cut a little of it like so, like just a half inch, sorry, 1 inch thickness. Okay, and I'm going to be ironing this on that crease line I created. Okay, so cut off the excess like I'm doing. So after that, just go ahead and fold in your crease line again to iron this properly. Okay, right, so iron this properly. Okay, so this violin helps to stop the surface of your stretch fabrics from stretching. So when you're attaching your zip, okay, it doesn't stretch to create that zipper bulge we don't want at the back. So this is I think the fourth step I'm teaching you on how to stop your stretch from creating that folding at the back you don't want. So after ironing your violin or your paper stay, just go ahead and iron your zip allowance in like you're seeing. Okay, so make sure you iron this in following that curve you created at the back. Follow that curve that you created, because that is how it's supposed to be. Because it's a stretch fabric, definitely that allowance you trimmed out is going to be replaced because of the stretchiness of the dress. But if it's not stretchy, don't mind trimming that off, because it's not going to create that zipper bulge. Once you've trimmed off your waist, trimmed off your back, okay, trim just a half inch off your back, it's not going to stretch like that. So once that is done, I'm going to join all my panels together, that is the top and the skirt panel together. You see the back V shape, the back is taken because of the zip, the half inch we trimmed around the zip area and then added it back to the sides. Okay, so it has given us that space that won't create that zipper bulge we don't want. So I'm just going to join all my panels together. Okay, I'm removing just some few inches of the violin away from my waist area to join the back panel together. So I'm going to do the same thing for this side, just remove a little bit, or you can even go ahead and join your back together before ironing your violin on both the skirt and then the top part. So for the front, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to join my front panels together. Okay, so join the panels together. I'm going to join it back to back by half an inch. Okay, so once I am done with that, I'll come back and then show you guys the next step that I'm going to be taking on this dress. Okay, so that is done right now. The violin has been ironed to my zip area, and my zip crease line has been created. This will help me be able to follow that shape to attach my zip. Okay, so my front has also been done, neatly overlocked. Okay, neatly overlocked, and now I'm going to be adding my zip. Once I'm done, then I'll join the sides together. Okay, so zipper has been fixed neatly. I went with an invisible zip. Okay, so you can see the back is not folding in any way. Okay, so that is a little trick on how to deal with your stretch. Okay, so once that is done, we are almost done with the dress. So I'm just going to add my button to the back, okay, to create that keyhole, and I'm going to be using this fringe to design however I see like nice. Okay, I'm just going to do right now. I don't have any idea in mind, but from the thumbnail I use this around my neckline, okay, and across my shoulder. So that is what I am going to be doing. Okay, at first I wanted to create a sleeve, like an kind of an off shoulder sleeve to this, but I changed my mind. I did some trimming off, so I trimmed off the net and then I used the rest, okay, for that design. So let's stay tuned and watch how this whole dress came about. If you're still watching and you find this tutorial really helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop your comments below. As you can see, the fabric really stretches a lot. And as you can see, the zip side does not stretch, but the side of, you see, that stretches a lot. And if you don't take the measures I have putting in place, you're not going to get to your zip the way you want it. So now back to our fringe. So I have just placed the fringe across my shoulder, okay, across my arm, and also across my chest line. So I'm going to pin this down, okay, and I'm going to be using a monofilament thread to stitch this by hand, okay, on my dress. All right, so quickly I'm grabbing my pins and I'm pinning this down. Okay, so once I'm done pinning my chest line down, okay, so I'm running some all over my armhole. Okay, so I'm just going in to check whether it's nice. Yes, so I'm just trying to see if it will be pretty, and it's okay. So I'm just going to continue with my hand stitching. So I'm going to do some hand stitching, and then once I'm done, like I said, I'm going to be running some along my armhole area. Guys, whilst we are at it, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to like, comment to my channel, and also share my video to your friends and loved ones. Okay, yes, I am so grateful for your love so far. Yeah, I am so grateful. Thank you all so much, my subscribers, my OGs, my new Gs, and if you're yet to subscribe, please do so. This is the outcome of the dress. And thank you so much for sticking by with me till now. I love you all so much. Take care and have a blissful day. Bye bye.